Hey there, this video is going to be a walkthrough of a story called Quintus consilium capit. It's the second story in stage 24. For classwork last time, most of you guys read the story called En Itinere, On the Journey. You might remember this and the picture there of Modestus and Strithio, the ostrich. And you guys, across all of the Latin 2 classes, did a fantastic job answering those questions and understanding what the story was about. It's a pretty straightforward story. Even though it has Modestus and Strithio in it, they actually don't appear in any more of the stage 24 stories. We'll get back to their antics in stage 25. So 24, the rest of the stories in stage 24 pick up right at the end of stage 23. Now you might recall in stage 23, we had a situation where Savius has ordered Memor, the guy who's in charge of the bath complex at Aquae Sulis, to kill the aged king Cogadubnus. And Memor was reluctant to do that, but Memor's freedman, Capalus, had an Egyptian cup that's poisoned somehow, and the whole plan was, hey, when Cogadubnus, who's old, when he comes to the baths to get himself all healed up, when he gets out of the bath, just hand him the wine cup, he'll drink it, he'll get poisoned, he'll die. Well, of course, we all know that Quintus, being Quintus, noticed at the very last moment that this wine cup looked suspiciously like one he had seen before during his time in Alexandria, so he knocks it out of Cogadubnus' hands and says, it's a trick cup, and then eventually Capalus is ordered to drink it, and he dies. But Capalus, kind of covering himself, wrote a letter to Cogadubnus that got delivered, and basically he said, Memor is crazy, Memor ordered me to do this, I didn't really want to do it. Now the very last story in stage 23, which I must admit I don't even remember if my class read, and I think Miss Leonard said that her classes kind of skimmed over it very quickly, there was a huge confrontation where Cogadubnus went to see Memor and Savius and said, look, I got this letter, how dare you guys try and kill me, this is ridiculous. And Savius and Cogadubnus kind of had it out, and the conclusion at the very end of the story, basically, Savius says, hey, look, you know what, the Emperor Domitian, he sent me a letter ordering me to take over your whole kingdom because we're tired of your arrogance. And then Cogadubnus, very sadly, at the end of the story, he throws down his official badges of office on the ground and says, so much for Roman friendship and Roman trust. And he leaves, and that is that. Now, we don't know exactly what's happened until the beginning of this story. So I'm going to walk through this story. You're going to need a pen or a pencil and a piece of paper because you're going to be pausing and jotting things down, and then you are going to submit your answers to either myself or Miss Leonard via Google Docs or Word, however you want to do that. Just post it, turn it in to this day's assignments on Google Classroom. I'm going to ask you 10 questions in all. So make sure that you number 1 through 10 on the piece of paper. So here we go. Quintus comes up with a plan. Cum Cogadubnus tristis iratusque e vila memoris exeset, Savius quinquagenta milites arcesivet. Well, I always like to read Latin first to try and get a sense of what the whole thing is about. And I noticed that the first word here is cum. You know, this is part of our new gram. I see a subjunctive verb exeset, and for question number 1, I want you to tell me what is the tense of exeset. So go ahead and pause now and write down your answer. All right, so this is a circumstantial clause, so cum is going to mean when here. Most of these circumstantial clauses happen at the beginning of a sentence. So here we've got Cogadubnus, he's sad and angry, and you know, he's no longer in Memor's house. And then what happens? Savius arcesivited, he summoned how many soldiers? Quinquagenta, 50 soldiers. Oh boy, eos usit, he ordered them to do what? We go along and I see comprehendere. That's a new vocab word, comprehendere, and it means to arrest. He ordered them to arrest the principes, the chiefs of the Regnenses, that's Cogadubnus' tribe, and to keep them in jail. Oh boy. Now, he milites, these soldiers, totum per opidum nisi, Misi is a perfect passive participle. It comes from mito, mittere, misi, misus, to send. Perfect passive participles are translated as having been verbed, so this would be these soldiers, having been sent through the whole town, mox regem cum principibus invenerunt. Invenerunt, you might recall, means found, soon found the king. And now, what I want you guys to do for number 2 is pause the video and translate cum principibus. All right, now we're back. And next sentence is a shorty. Eo statim comprehenderunt. Well, there's no subject that's expressed because eos, the os there is accusative. It's got to be a direct object. We have an erunt here, so our subject must be plural. It must be the subject from the previous sentence, the soldiers. What did they do? They immediately arrested them, meaning, of course, the folks mentioned up here, regem principibus. Dumnorix, Tamen. You might recall that Dumnorix is the one last stage who made Kepalus drink from the wine cup. Dumnorix, Tamen, e manibus militum elapsus, pervias opedi noctu processit. I'll stop there. So Dumnorix, however, what did he do? He processited through the viases of the opedi at noctu, which means he proceeded through the streets of the town at night. Now, if you look over on page, well, if you're using the 4th edition, it's page 69. Not sure what it is in the 5th edition. But the word elapsus is gloss for you, and it means having escaped. So having escaped out of the manibuses of the militums, which means, of course, the hands of the soldiers, he went through the town at night, and what did he do? He quaesivited Quentum. He looked for Quintus. Quento enim credebat, for he literally was trusting Quintus, meaning he trusted Quintus. Now everybody look at this next line. Cubiculum quenti ingressus, haec dixit. All right, your third question is this. What kind of participle is ingressus? That's number 3. So pause and write it down. Okay, so then here's what he said. He said these things to Quintus. He says, Amice, friend, tibi credere possum, I am able to trust you. Help me, help Cogadubnus. Paucis Romanis credo, I trust few Romans. Plurimi sunt perfidi, brand new vocab word, meaning treacherous. Plurimi means very many of them are treacherous. Nemo quidem perfidior est quam iste savius. So finding Nemo, of course, means finding no one. So no one, indeed, is more treacherous than that Savius. Qui cogadubnum interficere nuper temptavit, who recently, remember I recently bought a new pair of shoes, recently tried to kill Cogadubnus. Nunc Cogadubnus a militibus savii comprehensus in carcere jacet. Savius crimen majestatis in eum infere cupit. Okay, 2 questions here. Well, I see an a militibus. That's an ablative phrase right there. So I want you guys to pause and tell me for question number 4, part A. It's a 2-parter. 4, part A. What kind of participle is comprehensus? All right. The sense of it, of course, is that Cogadubnus has been arrested by the soldiers of Savius and that he's in prison. For number 4, part B, I want you guys to look at the glossed vocabulary and tell me what exact crime is Savius charging him with. All right, moving on. Rex in carcere inclusus omnino de vita sua desperat. So the king, having been shut in the jail, was completely despairing for his life, essentially. And he continues on, Dumnorix does, talking to Quintus, and he says this, Tu tamen es vir summae virtutis magnaeque prudentiae. So he says to Quintus, hey, look, you, however, are a man of the greatest courage and of great good sense, prudence. Quamquam, although Savius potentissimus est, is very powerful, noli regem amicum tuum deserere. Noli deserere, don't desert, don't abandon the king, your friend. Noli eum ab homines galesto oppugnatum relinquere. It's a little confusing, this word order, because the negative commands in both of these sentences are kind of split apart. So it's noli relinquere, don't abandon or don't leave behind him, having been attacked by a wicked Man. Tu antea eum serva visti. All right, next question is this. Question number 5. This year, in Latin 2, you have learned 2 ways in which this sentence is true. Tu antea eum serva visti. So write down 2 ways that Quintus has done this for cogadubnus previously. All right, then he says, nonne iterum servare potes. Surely you are able to do that again. Okay, now comes the time when Quintus has to think about it. Now we have another one of these circumstantial clauses, and here's what I want you guys to do. Let's continue on. Cum dumnorix haec dixisset, when dumnorix had said these things, Quintus rem secum anxius cogitabat. You might remember cogito, ergo sum, I think, therefore I am. So cogito means to think. Quintus was thinking literally with himself, meaning to himself. He was thinking about this thing with himself anxiously. He wanted Wolebat to bring auxilium to Cogadubno, help to Cogadubnus, because he liked him a whole lot. Oh, that's sweet. Now, sed res difficillima erat. Now for the next question, question number 6, tell me, what is difficillima? How is that translated? And is that a positive, comparative, or superlative adjective? That's number 6. Moving on, suddenly he came upon or seized upon a plan. Noli desperare, don't despair, he said. We are able to bring help to the king. Hanc rem ad legatum naeum Iulium agricolam clam referre debemus. So here, because the sentence starts with an accusative, we've got to go all the way to the verb to see who's our subject, and it's mus. Mus means we, and debeo means owe or ought. Probably ought here. We ought to refer this situation, secretly, by the way, clam, to the commander Gnaeus Iulius Agricola. So, I think we've talked in class before about how Savius is the lieutenant governor of the province of Britain. Well, here's the governor himself, Agricola. He's the only person who outranks Savius in Britain, at least on paper. And so he says this, Itaque nobis festinandum est. Now, I want you all to look over at the glossed vocab, and you'll see that nobis festinandum est means we must hurry. And this is a strange grammatical form we'll learn more about in stage 26. And so we must hurry to the ultimas partes Britanniae, to the furthest parts of Britain, where Agricola, bellum gerit, also glossed over there for you, is waging war. All right. He goes on to say, we are able to reveal the truth to him. Agricola alone is able to stop Savius because he has, that's habet, summam potestatem, the highest power, the greatest power in Britain. Now, nobis hinc effugiendum est. And that's not glossed for you, but you could probably figure out, based on nobis festinandum est, we must hurry, this means, and now we must flee from here. Dumnorix, cum haec audi viset. Now here's what I want you guys to do for question number 7. I want you to tell me what is the translation of this whole circumstantial clause. Cum haec audi viset. So go ahead, do that right now, pause it. Okay, so what did Dumnorix do? He laudated the consilium. Audax, he praised the bold plan greatly. Then Quintus, there's that verb arcesiwit again. Earlier, Savius had arcesiwited 50 soldiers, summoned them. Now he has summoned a very faithful, very loyal slave, to whom he gave some orders. The slave exited. Mox regressus, having returned soon, cibum sex dierum quento, et dumnorigi tradidit. So I want you guys to tell me for question number 8, what exactly did the slave hand over to Quintus and Dumnorix? All right, moving on. Those guys, having escaped from the house, proceeded, procaserunt caute, cautiously through the vias desertas, through the deserted streets. Vilam memoris praeteriuntes, that means passing by. I believe that's gloss for you. Look, it's a present, active participle. Passing by the house of Memor, Quintus and Dumnorix caught sight of duos equos, 2 horses, ad palum delegatus. Some of those words are glossed over there, which means having been tied up to a post or a stake. Quintus qui fortum committere nolebat, haesi tavit. All right, here's the next question. Question number 9, rather. Why does Quintus hesitate? All right, moving on. Dumnorix, laughing, said, don't hesitate. He sunt equi savii. Okay, so question number 10, whose horses are they? And then we have the end. Quintus et Dumnorix equos conscenderunt, climbed aboard the horses, et ad ultimas partes insulae abierunt, and they departed to the farthest parts of the island. Will they make it to Agricola before Savius figures out? We'll find out next time on Latin Story Time. Goodbye.